What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Guys, A-rig season is in full swing. All species of bass, striper, sand bass, everything. They're chasing bait. They're chasing out in 30 foot of water. They're chasing up shallow, pushing bait, just pushing them up against the rocks there. You can have a ton of success in the fall and winter time on an A-rig, and I definitely want to make sure that you're equipped to throw the A-rigs. We're going to talk about 3 A-rigs today from Shane's Baits. These are brand new in the store. You can check them out at lakeprotackle.com. They're going to be linked down in the description, as well as all the other stuff we're talking about in this video here. So guys, stay tuned. If you enjoy the video at the end, only at the end, if you enjoy it, leave a like on the video, comment down below which one of these A-rigs you would be most comfortable throwing, which one you would pick up first. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with the smallest one. That is going to be the Mini Blades of Glory right here. You can see 3.5-inch arms, has very, very small willow leaf blades on it. Overall, the footprint of this bait here is basically about the size of my hand. It's going to be a standard 5-wire. The shorter arm, the outside arms are going to be much shorter. So what this is going to do is going to create an effect of a bait ball very, very tightly packed together up in the front half of the bait, and then you've got your single one in the very back just kind of trailing along. Typically, the last bait in the middle here, the one that's farthest back, is going to be just a crazy color. Generally, people will put chartreuse on it or just make it a little bit different, maybe have a little sparkle on it compared to the other ones around the outside of the A-rig here. So the Mini Blades of Glory is one of my favorite ones to throw in the early fall time, and if I can use forward-facing sonar and land it near some fish, they are 100% going to eat it. Guys, I talked about A-rigs all the time in a couple of my past videos. The little super shads, those little bruiser bait super shads, you can find those. They're extremely affordable, very cheap, and you can put these on some 1/16 and 3/16 ounce jig heads and catch a ton of fish in the fall time. You can even go smaller with something like a Kitech Easy Shiner or something like that in the 3-inch, but this little Mini Blades of Glory, guys, is absolutely killer. You can throw this A-rig on just about any rod you want, guys, anywhere from like a 7-foot to an 8-foot. Typically, I'm gonna be throwing like a medium heavy with a little bit of parabolic action to make sure I'm not bending any of the hooks out on my jig heads. I love the Smart Mouth jig heads by Picasso. We also have some Woods and Water jig heads that work really, really well. The Picasso ones, the Smart Mouth and the Smart Mouth Plus, are very, very strong hooks, thin wire. Some use the Gamakatsu, some use Mustad hooks. But anyway, guys, the Mini Blades of Glory is great. Typically, I'm gonna have 3 or 4 1/16 ounce and then a 3/16 in the middle here. So very, very light. I like to keep it light just so I can work it really slow, and I can speed it up if I need to. If I need to put more weight on it, I might go up to like a 1/2 ounce on this middle one just to get it down where I need it to go in the fall time. But Mini Blades of Glory will work all times of the year. You don't have to target the fish with forward-facing sonar or live scope, but that one right there is just a killer. Typically, like I said, any type of rod, as long as it's like a medium heavy, 15-ish, 16, 17 pound line is the max I'm gonna throw on it. It's a very small footprint bait, and you don't wanna go too big to where you basically create too much lift on the bait from your line. So if you have a real thick line, it's gonna add a lot of lift, and that's not what you want in this little A-rig there. Next up is going to be the Money Ball. Now this bait here has some larger willow leaf blades on it. It's going to be another standard 5-wire 4-blade. This one here is going to be about the same size as the Dominator, but we'll get into the Dominator here in a little bit. But the Money Ball, this one here, is still going to use about the same size wire. The same size wire, going to be very flexible but not break on you. I've only broken one of these arms once, and they do sell replacement arms, which is really nice. You just unscrew this guy here, and you can take them out and replace them, which is, I think, super awesome. What's great about this one is it has a very, very slow movement through the water. You can really crawl this one. You're gonna want a little bit heavier rod than the Mini Blades of Glory there. Typically, I'm gonna be throwing like a 7'3" to 8-foot rod that's gonna have a little bit of backbone. Now, of course, this all depends on what size of jig heads and hooks you're using. Typically, a 2 to 3/0 hook is gonna be what I'm gonna be using on these. Smaller the better in my opinion, but I'm also gonna be trying to match the blade sizes here with my baits. So instead of throwing a little 3-inch like I would on the mini Blades of Glory, I'm gonna be throwing around the 4 to 5-inch baits on this one. The 4-inch Easy Shiners by Kitech are super amazing. The 3.75 Rage Swimmers are also really good, and we also have a whole bunch of other ones that you can put on here as well. The Money Ball is a great one if you're fishing around brush piles. It has that loud thump with the bigger blades. If you're fishing around or down a bank, you can keep this one very high in the water column, and I'm probably gonna be fishing anywhere from 16 to 20 pound line on this one, just because it does have so much resistance in the water that you wanna make sure that you have a heavy enough line to handle it. All right, y'all, so our final A-rig is going to be the Dominator. I've caught so many massive fish on this bait here. I have several friends that have caught double digits on this. Kyle Hall used this at Ivy quite a bit when Ivy was super, super hot. What's awesome about it is it has 8 blades, hence the name Dominator. It uses the same blades as the mini Blades of Glory right here on the top set, and then actually the bottom set are gonna be slightly smaller than the Money Ball right here. So what's really nice about it, it comes through the water very easily. It does put off quite a bit of resistance just because it does have 8 blades. Typically, I'm not gonna be throwing really, really big jig heads on this one. It's about the same as the Money Ball, actually. I'm gonna have some 1/16 around the outside, maybe 1 or 2 3/16 on the outside, and then just kind of marry up the middle one with whatever I like, whether it's a 3/16 or a half, maybe a quarter. However those fish are responding to the bait, however fast I need it to go, is how I'm gonna be fishing it. You know, let the fish tell you exactly what they want. So the rods that I like to throw this A-rig on, typically gonna start around the 7'4" to 8-foot lineup. So the 7'4", I like to run a heavy with a good parabolic bend through it. I absolutely love a 7.6 heavy as well. If I get into the 8-foot rods, those are gonna be a lot more stiff than your traditional, 7-foot rods, 7 to 7.5 foot rods. So usually with an 8-foot rod, it picks up so much line, and medium heavy isn't bad at all. I absolutely love the Leviathan Omegas and the medium heavy, and I also love to use the Leviathan Omega Finesse, and that is amazing for all 3 of these rigs. It's very parabolic. It's around I think it's a 7'11", super great rod for A-rigs. Definitely check all these out from Shane's Baits on the website, lakeprotackle.com. The Dominator is one I highly recommend right now, guys, and you can buy it on the website. So give them all a try. The Dominator, the Money Ball, and the mini Blades of Glory. You will not be disappointed. Again, new customers can save 10% at checkout with code NEW10, N-E-W-10. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like on it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.